From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update in 2021. In tonight's recording, we'll go over that recon that's going to pass in January. And the Senate changes that are going to go to that incredible recon, including the push to add in an MSC, multiple IRS stimulus checks. How much, how many, and when? I have all the latest details. Then we're going to go back into third stimulus that's paying big money today. No time to wait for fourth stimulus to become a law. Viewers are getting a lot of money, average of $5,000. I'll show you how to get these big checks and how, in the final minutes of this video, how to get more of these checks if you've already gotten some. Then we could turn to that student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. A lot of questions coming across the board about your SNAP, the impact with that COLA raise plus FIS stimulus coming up in this video. And then I'll have the new analysis you haven't heard on this channel before until tonight, how to compare the growing strain of the virus and its impact on the economy when weighing it against recon. Suddenly, the recon is getting the benefit of stalling economic data today, as there's concerns the economy will stall based upon Omicron and Delta resurging in these last days of December. That signals bigger and better and more important needs for a recon coming in the days thereafter. It's all brand new. It's all tonight. It's all detailed. It's a big evening with a lot of monies, with fourth stimulus paying out money in the next couple weeks and third stimulus paying out money in the next couple hours. I'm going to show you how to get all these incredible sums of money, plus all my economic data, my prognosis of where we're going, and your questions answered on air. You continue to deliver great questions in the live chat. I've been seeing them, and I'm delivering my answers in tonight's recording. It's all brand new. It's all tonight. It's all Evenings LA, and it's all breaking direct from Santa Monica this evening, starting right now on a big, bold evening of Evenings LALATE. Hey, good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful evening. And here we go. That recon is going to pass in January, so says the Democrats. And the Senate changes will robust. They're still adding in items, and they could still add in that MSC. So says the senators themselves. I'll go over how much, when, and where in this recording. Get your pen and paper ready, because there's a lot of checks in this recon, at least $15,000 of them. But let's go to the money available right now. It's third stimulus, and viewers are cleaning up. And in this recording, I'm going to show you how to get at least $5,000 today, even if you got $45,000 from third stimulus earlier this year. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that, plus the breaking details about fifth stimulus, your COLA, and your SNAP, all your questions answered in this recording. Plus, we'll go over where this economic data is signaling the progress or lack of it in the face of the spread of the variants these final days of December. With infection rates going up and deaths going up, what is the impact on the economy and what is the impact on the recon of all this brand new analysis tonight, direct from Santa Monica, California? I'm excited you're here. So go into the video right now and subscribe. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes per video. Let's hit those like buttons right now and consider becoming a member, so you're a part of the #1 channel of this kind in the United States, geopolitical news. It's called LALATE. Also sign up for that LA Alerts, which is totally free. It's in the descriptions of videos links. It's at news.la.com/alerts, and here we go. That recon is going to become a law, but not when they said it was going to become a law. But the good news is that there's still lots of checks for them to add in there. They're not finishing adding in checks. That sounds delicious. Average of there's at least $15,000 of checks in there before they add more. Let's go over each of them with 3 clusters and 3 add-ons. Cluster number 1, hazard pay, got in there. $4,000 of elder care, got in there. $4,000 of care for young children, got that in there. The CTC got that in there. $3,600 for 1 more year. They got in there the Pell Grant, $550 check. They got in there the home repairs if you live in a low-income community. And then they got in there the $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Wow, that is incredible. And that is the first of three clusters of checks. The first add-on comes from the representative here in Southern California, and her name is Maxine Waters. She got that provision in, which is for free money to buy your first home. Very exciting across the board. She wanted to give you $25,000. She got a little bit less. But that is in that recon from the house side. Let's go into the second cluster of checks. Here we go. They got in there home repairs, paid leave. Wow. They also got in there the expansion of the household tax credit pre-kindergarten as well. Now, when we talk about the home repairs in the second cluster, we are not talking about winterizing, we're talking about weatherizing. Very different words. Winterizing, if you go over the McConnell residence and there's a lobster at the front door greeting you, saying, would you like a lobster appetizer? Would you like a lobster teeny? Would you like a lobster snowball? No, I'd like directions to Josh Hawley's house. I'm getting out of here. That's winterizing, not weatherizing. More about how to get these checks, not weatherizing, not winterizing checks, but weatherizing checks later in this video. Let's go to the second add-on of checks. Comes from the illustrious Bob Casey, the Pennsylvania senator. He got this provision in there. He wanted to give you $250. He got a little bit less. What is this? Free money for home health care and seniors on disabilities. Wow. Stay with me. In the later parts of this video, I'm going to show you how to get all these sums of money. Third cluster has a lot of checks in there, and wow, just incredible. They got in there the free internet and the money for seniors with new benefits. So they got the household tax credit in there, the universal pre-kindergarten, the Medicare expansion. But in this third cluster is where it really heats up. Free school meals for all checks, cheaper prescription medication. They got in there the free internet, the farmers' money, the independent contractors, and guess what? Immigration reform, gone. It was in the third cluster. I told you it was going to go, and the Senate parliamentarian ruled just hours ago, it's gone. So it is gone, folks. Then the seniors got 2 expansions of Medicare on the House, and the Senate vows to add 2 more. So on the House side, they got the Medicare expansion for hearing and the Medicaid gap fix. On the Senate side, they have not yet added it in there, but they vow to add in there dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, which is par for the course of how the situation is right now. And I don't think I made this sort of clear enough in the last 24 hours of video. So maybe make this clear. There were all those quotes I ran from Bernie Sanders in the last month where he's asked, are you going to vote in favor of the recon? Well, we have to have dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. He wants it at 55 from 65. Guess what? The recon is not done in the Senate, and those provisions are still not in there. So for purposes of Bernie Sanders, the budget chairman of the Senate, he does not believe the recon is still ready to call for vote because his provisions are not in there. Well, guess what is also still not finished and needs to be added in there? MSC. MSC refers to multiple IRS stimulus check. Why do we use the word MSC? Because there are multiple checks in this recon, so we don't want to be confusing with our words. There are many, many checks in this recon. But this is the one that would be sent out by the IRS. And what are they talking about, these legislators? Back in the month of May, they said they want to give you multiple stimulus checks monthly. $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for up to 6 months. They said they want to do the same eligibility as a third stimulus check. And who got that third stimulus check? $75,000 less, single individual, got it. Married couple, $150,000 less, got it. Double it. Family of 4, they got it as well. It's not income. It's not taxable. It's going out to adult dependents and minor dependents, all states. It is not state stimulus. It's federal stimulus. So what's happening tonight? Well, in the last 2 weeks when the legislation landed in the Senate, I said to re-advocate because viewers, thousands of them, were told by those 6 senators since the month of May it's going in there. And those 6 senators have now retold viewers again in the last 2 weeks it's going in there. What happened? Let's go over all the details starting right now. We have Janet who picked up the phone and spoke to the wonderful Chuck Schumer's office and was told it's going in there via Bernie Sanders. Same message got to Lynn Glenn from the wonderful Bob Casey's office. Same message going to Donnie and his wife Sharon via Ron Winans' office. Same message also delivered to Tyrell from Chris Coons' office. And same message delivered to Bonnie from Liz Warren's office. That's why you have to advocate for its inclusion across the board. MSC, yes. Part of the many provisions they still have to add into the Senate body of legislation before the vote goes. And that's why it's important to advocate for its inclusion. Don't use the word MSC. That's an acronym from this channel. Just use simple language across the board. Pick up the phone and contact those 6 senators and tell them why you want it in there. And those 6 senators are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Let's meet them. They are Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Pick up the phone and speak to their staff. At worst, leave a voice message saying why you need it. Business, personal, financial, economic reasons. Casey, Coons, Warren, Wyden, Sanders, and Schumer. Meantime, also give yourself some time to advocate for your wallet. And that involves picking up the phone and calling and getting the big money available today for third stimulus. Viewers are getting an average of about $5,000 4 to 6 months and 2 utilities in the last few days. So give yourself some time to advocate for your wallet for third stimulus. How do you get this money? It's coming up in the second half of this video. Then in the second half of this video, we'll be turning back to this incredible recon and its passage in the House, how soon to be passed in the Senate. What are those Senate changes? I'll give them the analysis across the board. And these big checks, what are they? I'll go over them. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. A lot of questions coming in about COLA and your benefits. I'll be answering your questions as well on that. All these details, plus my analysis of the final 5 minutes of this video. Do not miss the final 5 minutes. Stay to the very end because I'll explain to you how to get more money from third stimulus than initially thought. And I give you my guidance as to where I think the recon is going in light of the variance. And with that, I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now in the second half of Evening LALATE as that recon is going to pass, but not before Christmas. In the month of January, instead, is the new timeline. The Senate changes will be robust. I'll go over all the latest details on that, plus the checks one at a time. We're going to analyze on this recording. It pays you a lot, at least $15,000, and the push to add MSC on top of that, OMG. But third stimulus paying money out right now, average $5,000. I'm going to show you new details in the final 5 minutes of this video, how to get extra money from this third stimulus, even if you got it in the last few days. Student loan debt forgiveness, the latest details on that. Plus, we'll be turning to that COLA raise, the impact on your SNAP. I'm getting a lot of questions about it. And fifth stimulus. Those details and more as we go into a big second half of this recording. Plus the final 5 minutes of this video, you'll see something you've never seen in this recording where I analyze the variant and its impact on your recon and the economy. Yeah, it is very important. Stay the final 5 minutes of this video. And with that, I want you part of this family. So go into this video right now and subscribe. Become part of the #1 most watched channel in America. That's me in the metaverse. A new show coming to this channel in just a few weeks. Subscribe so you're part of the #1 most watched channel of this kind in the nation. Geopolitical news. It's LALATE. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member so you get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system, and sign up for the LALATE alert systems as well, which is totally free. That link is under the description, news.com/LALATE alerts. And with that, let's go into where we are as we start a big evening with this recon, starting right now. Well, there's a lot going on, and I want to recap and then give you a forward projection on where we're heading. First, if you miss the afternoons and evenings LALATE live special reports on Thursday, they're airing also tonight on this channel. In those 1-hour shows, I went over how they had changed this recon so many times since the month of May, and that ultimately, what Schumer said, Chuck Schumer, the majority leader 2 weeks ago, was that the recon was going to go to a vote next week, the week of Christmas. The week of Christmas has Christmas Eve landing on a Friday, the 24th. Chuck Schumer said in 2 different quotes, either verbal or written, that the recon would become a law by Christmas Eve, or 2, that the Senate would pass the recon by Christmas Eve. To pass it in the Senate requires 3 days of voting. To pass it as law requires 4 days of voting. In a 5-day week, he could get it done, and that's coming up next week, so why still not do it? This is what happened. The President of the United States is determined when things go for a vote, but in this case, he was. And Schumer was reaching out to the President on Wednesday, we know from a series of reports, asking the President, okay, what's going on? You want me to go ahead and call the vote? I've told people we're calling the vote starting this Monday. And Chuck Schumer said, you have to tell me, Mr. President, yes or no, voting starting on Monday, because I have to send out my letter to my Senate Democrats. Still no message from the White House. By Wednesday, Chuck Schumer's getting restless, saying, I got to tell them. They're about to leave town, saying, we're gone because you're not telling us to stay. So either you tell us to stay or we're gone. Chuck Schumer said to the president, tell me what's going on. Am I telling them we're voting on Monday or not? The president also on Wednesday told the American people in a verbal statement he believed the recon would go for a vote the following Monday and would be passed the week of Christmas. Okay, so that's the president, pretty obvious. What also happened on Wednesday and Thursday? Joe meetings. Joe Manchin, Joe Biden, they did not go well. What really happened in those meetings? Liz Warren tells us that Joe Manchin had gone into those meetings with really leaving the other side thinking that he was uneased with 1 or 2 provisions, like paid family leave, which we'd known about for a few months. So what happened at those meetings? Liz Warren says that Joe Manchin went in there and said he suddenly had a problem with a lot of provisions, which no one had heard about in all these months. Trouble? Yeah, with a capital T. So Joe Biden said to Chuck, no, you're not calling the vote. I'll issue a statement. You're not calling the vote. You can tell your senators to go home. And the statement came out Thursday with the president. 24 hours after he said the recon would become law the week of Christmas, the president, he issues a totally different statement. Citing Joe Manchin 3 times in the letter, he says we need a few more weeks. He went from Wednesday saying he's going to be done next week to Thursday saying, I need a few more weeks. Joe Manchin. In fact, Joe Manchin was so upset about the letter, he said, that's his version of the details, not my version. Imagine that's the way he's talking about the president and the leader of his political party. So not particularly clear. The reaction tonight, across the board among Democratic House and Senate members is that the recon is going to become law in January. It has to. 1, many of the most important provisions of third stimulus are now expiring. Number 2, the Democrats, House members, especially up for re-election, think they're going to lose their shirts if they don't get this recon done right away in January. And if they don't get it done in January, it's just going to start to stall in their minds. And they think that, the momentum is right now. You can blame it on the tight schedule of the holidays. That's why we didn't get it done, not because we have an in-row fighting. Well, I have more about my analysis of the situation. Brand new, you've never heard on this channel. In the final 5 minutes of this video, stay with me. But first, let's go over the incredible provisions of this recon. What you need to know is that the recon is still in flux in the Senate because everything that was in the House passed is still in there. And everything that Bernie and co. wanted to add in there on the Senate, they've not still added in there because the Senate version of the recon that adds more stuff in there is still not finished. So let's go over the checks right now that were in there from the House and survived. They got in there they got in there the incredible paid leave. $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year. $400 a week if you make $15,000 or more per year. How many weeks? Up to 4 weeks per year. Wonderful. Now, if you don't work, don't worry, because if your son or daughter does work and has to take off from work because they have to take you to the doctor, they get the payment. All income levels, W-2, 1099s, it is great across the board. Independent contractors, sole workers, or W-2s, you all qualify. Now, they got in there the SALT cap, which previously was $10,000 of what you can deduct on your federal tax return of what you pay in state and local taxes. They're going to raise it up to $72,500. They got in there the cheaper prescription medication, the $40 billion of free job training, very helpful because millions of Americans want to take a higher paid job. And then they got in there the Medicaid gap fix, a great provision for so many of my viewers. This is where the cheaper medical insurance is. Viewers ask me daily, where is it? Here it is. 12 Republican states vowed to never provide any funds for Obamacare in their states. So the Democrats got a workaround plan to provide years of subsidized private insurance to low-income uninsured people in those states. Incredible. Which then brings us to the best provision of this recon. You know what it is. $150 billion for housing. Wow. With 6 provisions, 3 new and 3 old. The three new provisions are weatherize your home, first-time home purchases, and the home repairs. The other 3 provisions I'll get to in a second. But let's go over those 3 provisions let's go over the 3 provisions that look very familiar. They are rent assistance, utility assistance, and mortgage assistance. And where have we heard about these before? Sound familiar? It should. They're from third stimulus. And the great news is you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus. You do not have to wait for fourth stimulus to become law. You can get it right today from third stimulus. In the last 2 weeks, the average viewer of this channel has gotten $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent and 2 utilities. Wow. Let's go over how they got it, how you can get it, and what's going on here. December 2020, last year, this month, we had the same situation. First stimulus had passed. We were waiting for second stimulus. It wasn't passing. And you needed money. It was the holiday season. So I said, let me get you some rent and utilities. I said, what happens is that the following. Let's say you have $1,000 wad of cash in your wallet to pay the landlord the rent bill. And suddenly out of nowhere, you don't have to take that cash out of your wallet because someone else is paying your rent for you this month. Great. Yeah. So $1,000 stays in your wallet. And guess what? You can reallocate it to, let's say, buying some holiday gifts, $200 for holiday gifts, some holiday meals, $150 for that, maybe some holiday travel, $500 for that. Yeah. This helps millions of Americans have a wonderful holiday. And it did at the time. Tyrone and his family of 4 out of Boston got $15,000 for the channel at the time, giving themselves a wonderful Christmas. Now, at the time, in December 2020, I had the write-up exclusively on this channel of a new body of legislation. I called it third stimulus. I coined the expression. And I said, when it becomes law, there's a stimulus check in there, but there's about $15,000 of checks in there. And guess what? They're mostly for the same money you're getting right now, just a lot more of it. Learn how to do it right now, because when this becomes law, you're going to get more of it. And it was the rent and utilities. And when it became law, the viewers of the channel got on average $45,000. Wow, incredible. But 2 weeks ago, something happened. Same thing as first stimulus. Fourth stimulus was not yet happening, and people needed money during the holiday season. And just like we were waiting for second stimulus to pay your bills, didn't come. Fourth stimulus, waiting for your bills to come for your bills, wasn't coming. We knew this. We'd done this before. So I said, you know what? Go get third stimulus. It's coming back on this channel. And you have done so well. The average viewer of this channel in the last 2 weeks has gotten $5,000, 4 to 6 months of rent paid, and 2 utilities. Wow. So how do you get it and what's going on? Let's go over some of the details. Here's some great success stories. If you had a success story, send it to me on private message on social media, especially if you send it to me, I haven't featured, send it again. Here's Amy. She had gotten 2 utility rounds from this channel. She got a third one. She had gotten 1 round for rent. She got another one. And she's not in a large area. She's in a rural area of Kentucky. She wants people to know it's available everywhere across the board. And that's how you rock and roll when you do this recon. There's money available, and she got it, and got it consistently. We have Judy, who understood the importance of getting money when you got it before, And she did. She got $3,000 from this channel for the exact same thing last year. So she reached out and got another round. And guess what? She said, I got $3,000 last year from watching you. I got another $3,000. And now I will be able to get Christmas gifts I've been wanting to give out to people. Incredible. The success stories kept on coming in. And what are people learning? What people are learning is that 2 weeks ago, when I said third stimulus, they said, I already got that before. I can't get another round. Yeah, you can. Or they thought, it's already been used up. It's been months. Why are we talking about third stimulus? No, there's a lot of the money around there. And I love Chris's story. Why do I like Chris's story? He got $10,000 from this earlier this year. He said, I never would have known there would be additional rounds of money. I said, yeah, there is. He got it, and he got $4,500. So get your pen and paper ready. I'm going to show you how to get those incredible sums of money right now. This is your biggest payday, and we're going to start with the rent, and it is a lot of money for rent. The rent was $20,000 to $30,000 on this channel about 4 to 6 months ago. Excuse me, about 3 months ago. But boy, has it gone up a lot. Let's look at the money for rent and where it is today compared to back then. So this is the rent then, 3 months ago. And boy, how much has it gone up? A lot. It is now $40,000 across the board. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, I'm just doing lots of silly things. Let's go in there and take you out there and put you there. Okay, there we go. They're just like, where am I moving to? The money for rent has gone up a lot. It was $20,000 to $30,000. Wow, it has gone up a lot. Now it is upwards of $40,000. So where do you get these incredible sums of money? You get these incredible sums of money from 6 places. And let's go over them right now. 6 places, and what are they? City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall and State House Authority. And the keywords you can say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There are 3 musts you must do. Number 1, you must reach out to all 6 places. Number 2, you must get multiple applications on file. Get applications on file as many places as you can. And finally, get multiple rounds. So if you got 1 round for this earlier this year, get another round today as well. You can get a round from a different organization. So let's say you got money for this from one organization for 3 months. Go get to it from another organization for a different 3 months right now. And there you go. Let's turn to the incredible money for utilities. Utilities has gone up a lot. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities. Let's look at that graphic. And wow, look at this. I mean, this was then, and now it's upwards of $15,000. You can say utility assistance because of COVID. Then we want to get those combo items. Very important. Started with Nisi and Art Sullivan. They got 3. I told other viewers at the time, where your 3. Here was Mark at 2. He got his 3rd, brought him from $32,000 to $50,000. Now Mark is over $100,000 across the board. Here is Mark right now. Lorraine, she was at 105, and now she's at 120. Incredible. So get those big sums of money right now, which brings us to the huge story about Johnny. And Johnny really embodies how you do this. Johnny's a 3-part story. Several weeks ago, Johnny was listening to the recordings. He started the week at $0 by the middle of the week. By Wednesday, he had 3 programs approved, $45,000. Wow, incredible. Now, why does it get better? Because by the end of the week, he got 7 programs approved. Oh my goodness. He was listening to the recordings where I said, do not stop, get other sums of money. And he got 7 programs approved. But to get 7 programs approved, how many phone calls do you have to make? Probably at least 15, because you're going to have a 20 to 50% rejection rate on the phone. Just understand that. He kept on pushing, and boy, did he ever. He got 7 programs approved, $80,000 in 5 days. For that viewer, says, I reached out to one place. I got a rejection. What am I doing wrong? You're doing it all right. You just have to keep on making phone calls. Part 2 of Johnny's incredible story came the following Monday. 2 family members reached out to him and said, what did you do last week? I got $80,000 from LA. Wow. Where'd you get this from? Third stimulus. They said, how come broadcast media never covers this? They don't cover it, says Johnny. He covers it, LA. And he showed them how to get it, and they each went from non-believers to believers. Each got getting $50,000 by the end of the week. Wow. Which then brings us to the 3rd part of Johnny's incredible story, which came in 2 Sundays ago. Johnny said, people kept on showing up, asking, hey, LA, hey, Johnny, what are you doing? And I showed them the money I was getting people from third stimulus, and they were surprised it existed. And I said, how many people did you help, Johnny? And he says, I helped 32. I said, my goodness. How much money did you get those 32 people? He said, 850,000. Wow. 850,000. Johnny got people money from third stimulus as subscribers and viewers and helping them along by watching the videos with them. Consider becoming a member today. The link is on the video. Consider becoming a member today to get the incredible newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday that features the 6 places you reach out to. Mention this recording. The 3 keywords you say. Mention this recording. And it also features the important stuff not featured in this recording, like the 5 nonprofits. The 1 nonprofit that helps with home repairs. It also features the important statement from Treasury about what this money is for. Read that incredible information before you make the phone call across the board. And with that, consider becoming a member right today. The link is under the video. And let's continue back in that 4 stimulus recon where we left off with the housing provision. The housing provision has 3 new parts in there. And what are they? Well, those 3 new housing parts are the home repairs. That would be for all types of homes that are low income. The weatherize your home. That is like the window, the glass, the roof. That's all income levels. And then finally, the first-time home purchases. This would be money given to the seller in your name by the federal government during the recon. Incredible across the board. Let's go back into the provisions in this recon and look at them right now. They got in there the incredible $150 billion of in-home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Wow. They got in there the $550 check for the Pell Grant. Huge. They got in there also the big money for the new bike, the new car, $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Incredible. They got in $65 per child per month when the child is not in school. That is huge. And then that brings us to the best provision of the entire recon, the cheaper medical insurance. It starts at day 1 with 20 medications, dramatically cheaper. Medicare Part B, D across the board. And this is cancer, arthritis, diabetes, expensive medication. It'll grow to 30 medications by the year 2028 and cannot increase more than the rate of inflation. If it does, there's a penalty provision. And that penalty provision is something that will ultimately cause the Senate parliamentarian to rule where is this recon staying in there. Now, if you look at that graphic on air where it says $15,000, yeah, it's clearly a lot more than $15,000 right now, folks. We got all those checks from third stimulus that continued over, which are about $45,000. You got the core of the recon 15. You haven't had the Bernie add-ons coming, the Maxine or the Bob Casey add-ons. So this is probably at least $50,000 to $60,000. They also got in there the universal pre-kindergarten. They got in there the money for the nutrition, the housing, and the Pell Grant, $550 check. Now, several provisions of this recon are set to expire. And what are they? These are old third stimulus provisions that are set to expire. The earned income tax credit raise up, set to expire. The CTC and the child care credit also set to expire if the recon does not become law. And there you go. That is the incredible recon. Now, what about those add-ons for the senators? I'll go over those just a second. But first, let's continue with you understanding what's going on with that student loan debt forgiveness. Student loan debt forgiveness has an offer on the table, and what is it? It's $10,000. The Democrats should take it across the board. That student loan debt offer would follow previous debt forgiven by the White House for people who became disabled after graduation, went to work in the nonprofit sector after graduation, and or went to work in the public sector after graduation. And how about that fifth stimulus, that COLA and that SNAP? A lot of questions coming in recent days. Let's answer them on air right now. So SNAP is tied to your income. SNAP is tied to your income. And if your COLA benefits go up 5.9%, which they are January 1, that is more income. So obviously your COLA is going to go, obviously your SNAP is going to go down unless you're in certain states where they're saying we're not touching it. Again, your benefits are going up 5.9%, January 1, automatic, you don't have to do anything. And your SNAP already went up 25% last year, just automatic, you don't have to do anything for that as well. So now that you're coming in at a higher income level because you're raised up 5.9%. Will your SNAP go down a lot? No. Some viewers have sent me private messages saying, our SNAP's not even going down in our entire state. State's not even touching it. So that may be the case. Some states will say, I just don't want to touch it. It's just too confusing the way it is. We're leaving it alone. So do not be surprised if you start to see more messaging about that from viewers in the next few days. Very, very fascinating. And there you go. So where are we going on this recon? What's happening with the Federal Reserve? What's happening with Joe Manchin? What's happening with the vote? What's happening with all those details? I have all that analysis and how to get more money from this third stimulus coming up now in the final 5 minutes of this video. Let's go over all the details starting right now. Well, here we go. That recon is going to become law. That's my message. That's the House and Senate Democrats' messages late today. And that's also the viewers' messages in the live chat on afternoons and evenings yesterday. We had a lot of questions about different things. And this is something everyone agreed upon, that the recon is becoming law in the month of January. So, what is the pluses, what's the down, and what's the confusing part of the situation? The confusing part of the situation is a lot of programs will expire by the time they get this fourth stimulus recon to law. So those programs will have to have modified language the next few weeks, like the CTC, the Earned Income Tax Credit Boost, and all these other provisions set to now expire. So they were just going to continue existing provisions of the recon fourth stimulus. Now they have to come back in and modify the language. But what's also important to really understand about this fourth stimulus recon is where the quotes, the comments, the economy, and the virus is right now. This weekend was jam-packed. And the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, had his key critical meeting this week, as we had been detailing on this channel in recent weeks. He had two things to deal with: tapering and also interest rate spikes. Would he do both? Would he change one? How would he do it? He made the announcement that we're going to taper faster, and we will not do any interest rate spikes whatsoever until we're finished tapering. And I'm not going to tell you when the interest rate spikes are going to happen. Now, Wall Street analysts have their own prediction across the board. This caused a lot of interesting details, which is the coupling of the other statement from the head of the Fed, Jay Powell. He said, this is our current Fed policy right now, but we're dialed in to watch what's happening with Delta and Omicron, so we know more about it. We don't know, and if it turns worse, we're going to change around things across the board. Well, that's what's happening right now. If you notice in the last 48 hours, this economy, this economic state of the United States is different now than it was 48 hours ago. Where was it 48 hours ago? We were talking about there's too much good economic data out there. The unemployment numbers lowest since over 50 years. The job participation number, great. People were not on the sideline worrying about COVID. They were coming back to work. The labor rate, how much you're paying them, lower. So that meant more employers can hire more employees. Very, very interesting. At the time, that economic data was a lot of good stuff, too much of it. And I would have said at the time, if I didn't already say it, that this is the type of stuff that Joe Manchin will say, economy's too strong. I'm worried about inflation being caused from fourth stimulus recon. Well, here's the great news going into a new week, is that Joe Manchin can no longer say that if he did want to ever say it. He can no longer say, we're good, economy's good, we're all good, we don't think we really need a fourth stimulus recon at all. That's not what Americans are saying right now. They're saying, number one, frontline workers saying we're not being paid enough. Number two, that people who need funds need lots of funds. And when you compare the Federal Reserve's comments with Joe Manchin and my comments, what do you get? Very, very interesting, distinct differences. Joe Manchin, if the economy's too robust, then the inflation is too high, we don't need a fourth stimulus recon. Me, if the virus is more out of control, you really need a recon, because now that the businesses are going to be impacted by the recon. Jay Powell, what's he saying? He's saying, I'm watching the virus, because if the virus disrupts the economy, I need to come in and do more lifting up of the economy and stop removing my support of the economy. Well, tonight the virus is out of control. Businesses are closing. Industries are closing. Major events are closing, whether it's NFL games or the NFL, or it's the Rockettes Christmas show at Carnegie Hall in New York City, whether it is professional games. They're being canceled. Why? Because the variant, in the case of at least the professional athletes who are double vaccinated, is going right through that vaccination and hitting them. Presumably, they were double vaccinated, and this was a Delta variant. The Omicron variant is far more contagious, but doesn't necessarily evade the vaccines as much as Delta really evades the vaccines. But while this is not a health channel, what's the economic impact of this? People aren't traveling. I have new fears about the variant. People are canceling reservations at hotels because of new concerns about the variant. Businesses are shutting down and not reopening during the holiday season, and professional athletes and their games are getting canceled or moved. It's all business disruption. And there's business disruption or business interruption, then that means you need a recon. And so for the first time in several weeks, with Joe Manchin saying, you know what, my people, my state are worried about inflation, you keep on doing too much recon. I don't believe his residents of his state are even saying that, because any other people's states, their residents are now saying, there's a lot of COVID everywhere. There's a lot of COVID everywhere. I don't know if I want to go to work. I may get laid off. People are getting laid off. Businesses are closing down. We're doing another version of sort of a economic meltdown really quickly. And this was not something we betted on 2 weeks ago. So I think that if Joe Manchin runs that quote, this is my people, my state are worried about runaway inflation. Don't think about that inflation, because we are going to really pull back. We saw those 3 big economic numbers, but the situation is far from over. Meantime, I'm very excited for what this channel is now delivering you. A new show that out of nowhere became a hit by mistake. What went on? Well, over the last few days, I had been testing a new time slot just sort of randomly. And that time slot is the same time slot occupied by Calcino, 8 o'clock. My idea to throw in an informational video in the 8 o'clock time slot, see if it works. Oh, boy, did it work. You loved it. The new show is called Evenings Extra, and it airs at 8 o'clock opposite Calcino. It's a very recent show taping about Four Sumos, and it features the biggest, largest update to end the day before we go into overnight shows. So now you got Evenings LALATE, brand new every day at 5 o'clock. You have Evenings Countdown following right after that at 6 o'clock. You have a Holiday Stream Sumos at 7 o'clock, and then at 8 o'clock you have the brand new Holidays Extra. And with that, I want you part of this incredible family. So go into this video right now and subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member so you get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday when a situation happens. You do not want to miss a single video across the board, because the situation is changing by the hour on the hour. It's a very, very fluid situation. But with that, I want you part of this incredible family. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Join me next on Evenings Countdown, Stream Sumos Holiday Edition, and then the brand new Evenings Extra at 8 o'clock. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day, and stay with LA.